happened, Damon?
I've had time to calm down, of course. So I would like this to be my official, considered reaction to what happened, and that is that we're having a great race. It was going to be an exciting race. I thought I saw an opportunity that I could take advantage of, and I'm afraid that Michael is a harder man to pass than that. And we had an accident, and I would describe it as a racing accident. And I'm very disappointed for all the fans, everyone here who came along and was cheering for those few laps when I was catching Michael. I'm also very, very disappointed for the Williams team, who did a superb effort all weekend. And I'd just like to say that that's really all I'd like to say. The only thing now I've got on my mind is my wife Georgie, who's, as you know, is due to have a baby, and in the coming week, I expect that's what will be happening, and will be more on my mind than anything else. The championship is still wide open, and I think we've shown that we can compete against Michael Schumacher, and we can beat him, and the championship is still very much a possibility.
Damon,
that's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Well, don't leap to judgments. You weren't sitting in the car trying to pass the world champion, nor was I. But you've heard what Damon Hill had to say. What did Michael Schumacher think about it?
With Schumacher, it looks like you had it in the bag, one-stop strategy. Then what were your views on the incident?
It was completely unnecessary, in my view, what Damon has done there. There was no room for him to go there. He came from nowhere, as I got told from my engineers, and I don't see the sense of doing things like this. Even in front of your home crowd, you have to keep your nerves and your temperament in a normal way, not to make it dangerous to anyone. And I mean, it's more or less a situation like in Adelaide, where he tried to dive inside where there was no room also. So twice an incident like this where it was absolutely unnecessary, and I can't understand this, to be honest.
But you feel he was a bit hot-headed, got carried away?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he was probably too much under pressure and tried to make something which wouldn't work.
What about that dice between the two of you in the closing laps? Do you think you could have stayed ahead?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At this point, he was certainly on newer, fresher tyres with the same fuel level. But towards the end, the tyres would have levelled off from him, and then I should have pulled off a gap. I knew that overtaking is very difficult, so I just wasn't worried at all, to be honest. I knew where I had to be quick in the fast complex on backwards and always before the long straights, and I was quick there. In the slow corners there was no reason to push too hard for me, because there was no way to me to overtake, because I had the same situation with Jean Alesi before, where I couldn't overtake him, and I never tried a situation like this.
The Benetton strategy looked like it was going to pay off yet again.
Yeah, I think the strategy under normal circumstances would have been slower, but it paid off to come out in front of them after their last stop, and that was our target. We managed, even after a bit of a disaster at the beginning of the race, after being held up by Jean Alesi. I still managed to pull a gap then after I was free, which was enough to just coming out in front of Damon.
11 points clear still, Germany coming up. You confident for that one?
Yeah, as confident as I can be in the moment.
Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure.